Hi, I'm Tom Thorne and I work for Ancasta Yacht Services, and I'm here today at MDL Port Hamble to talk to you about gel repairs. So today I've got here a couple of repairs. I've got an impact damage and I've also got star cracking, which can be caused by structural movement, and we're going to go through how best to look for it. On first initial inspection, I can see that there is damage that's coming through on this section. There is lines that are coming out. They will all need to go. The stress cracking, as we go down, what we're looking for is there's lines in the mat. It's not just the gel coat, it's the mat as well. We'll be looking for colour in gel coat. We'll be looking for colour in mat. If it's lighter from what's around on the surroundings, then it means that we're going to have to fiberglass it, put mat in resin before we go for the gel coat stage. So now we're going to inspect the damage, and as we go in together, first of all, it's very important to make sure that you've got the correct PPE on, overalls, we've got the gloves here, we have the face mask when we're doing it, and the eye protection as well. So initially we're going to look and we're going to do a tap test. Now this isn't a smash test, this is a tap test where we're just listening for different sounds. We're looking for DLAM within the mat. So I'm just going to tap round it. Now I'm pretty happy with that the sound is pretty much the same all the way around. If you go a little bit wider and over the repair, you can tell that it's actually in that area. We won't know until we open it up, but I'm pretty sure that it is only going to be within this area here. So first of all, a little trick that I've learned as I've been doing this for a while, which I find helps, I get a pencil and I colour in around the repair. And the reason I do this is because now it's marked up, I will then get some acetone or cleaning product, wipe over the repair, which removes the pencil but actually stays within the cracks. So when you're doing the prep work, it's very important that you don't have to keep going back over yourself. You want to know where that is and where the damage is, so you can start to begin and get it all out in one go. So now I'm going to start getting prepared, ready for opening up the repair and see what we're up against. I've got a Dremel here, which I'll be using as it's only a small section to do. I want to try and minimise the size of where I'm spreading it round, but if the damage is bigger, then you can use your grinders. What I'll do is I'll use the Dremel, and I have a hoover next to it so I can make sure I take the dust away, but wearing my face mask and eye protection at all times. When we open up the repairs, we want to look for difference in colours in mat. Delamination is one of the biggest problems where people do gel repairs on top of mat, which is separated, which means that it is going to come back. So it's really important that we ensure that we take that all out, we inspect it properly, we make sure that everything's clean, and the new product that we put on is going to withstand anything, and it shouldn't happen again, providing it's not taking any knocks. So now we're going to be moving on to the next section of applying the gel coat. Now I've acquired some gel coat actually from the manufacturer. That is vitally important that you ensure that you use a catalyst in with the product to the letter. So I've already had this, it's been catalysed and it's ready to go. I'm about to apply it. The gel coat that I'll be using is called Retouch, and what this means is that it's slightly thicker than the normal gel coat that you would brush on. The things that I have noticed with this is there is a bit of shrinkage in it, so you'll find that when I apply the gel coat on there, it will be higher than the repair itself to ensure that any shrinkage goes down. So my next stage would be when I sand it down, I've got enough product on there to begin with. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the gel coat ready to go. I've got a spatula here which I've cut in half to make it easier, just to make sure that I've got a bit more control, and I'm going to apply it into the repair. So now I'll actually use the big one on for this instant because of the size of it. Initially what I'm going to do is apply a little bit of pressure and use the contours of the shapes that I'm going to go to try and gain, and make sure that we get any air out. So as I scrape through, as you can see already, that's pretty much invisible, but as I said, with the shrinkage, I'm going to apply a little bit more on there, but I'm happy that there's no air bubbles in that to begin with. So push it down and around, slightly raised. Now moving on to the star cracking, exactly the same process. Make sure that you're daubing in the area, ensuring that you're covering the whole repair. One big spatula again. On the contours, pull it through. As you can see, I've got a couple of lows in it, so now I'm going to make sure I go back over it again to make sure that there's enough product on it and pull it down. So now we can't touch that. And generally we'd like to leave it for about 24 hours to ensure that the product has definitely got to its hardest stage and ready to move on to the next stage where we will be sanding it down. Gel coat needs the time to go off. If you're doing it in bad weather, rain, cold, this all affects the time. It affects the product, so you need to make sure that you're in a controlled environment. And lucky here at Ancasta Yacht Services, we've got the sheds and the workshops to be able to keep it at a steady temperature to make sure that we're getting the best out of the product. Now what I've done is I've got a sanding block and 240 to start off with, sanding down. Now we need to make sure that we get the shape right. We need to make sure that we're following all the lines as we go through to make sure that if you cast your eye down it, no one will ever know. So what I'm going to do is initially take the worst of it off, and then I would use a pencil just to colour around the edges. And the reason I do this, because I will show you right now, is it shows you where your gel coat is. The colour match is exactly the same, so it's quite important. You can be quite blind. So as I go through, now if I just give that a rust over there, as you can see the lines that are coming up is showing where the edge of my gel coat is, which means I've got a lot more to take off. Okay, so I've gone through with the 240 and I'm happy that I've lost all my pencil marks from the gel coat. I'm happy with the shape. I'm looking down at different angles to make sure that it's pleasing to me. Next up, we're going to start going through the grades. It's very important when you go through the grades that you take out the last scratches of the one before. So 240, then I will hit it back with 400, then 600, then 800, then 1,000, and at 1,000 we're ready for polishing stage. So I'm going to start to go through that right now. Okay, so the next stage after the 1,000 grit is that we're going to be using a cutting paste. It's a fine cutting paste because we don't want it to be coarser than the last sandpaper that we used. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a bit on a rag and in a circular motion just work it into the area, going beyond the repair so that it matches in with everything, and applying a little bit of pressure. And then once that's done, we're going to use a different bit of rag just to buff it off. Now it might take 2, it might take 3, but the finish will be great at the end. As you can see, you'll get the shine running through there. I'm very happy with it. Finished and ready to go.